Hello and welcome to a chip off the old block toys. I'm Jeff, and today we're going to start building another one of those Bricklink designer sets. And this one here, well, it's a personal favorite. Why is it a personal favorite? Because I love my trains. And there we go. It is set number 910033, and it has 2,331 pieces, and it also comes with 6 minifigures. Now, I bought 2 of these, and the reason I did is because I don't like the fact that it only has one door for one engine, but yet it has the track right here. So I bought 2 of them so that I can modify it and make it a double shed for 2 of them. But today we're only going to build as the box is. Let me go ahead and switch cameras. And I apologize for any sort of confusion that this may have caused. I tried to do this through Rumble Studios. For some reason, it just didn't want to work. And so, yeah, I had to terminate that stream and start this one. So, okay, let's see. That's a total of 9. Hello, Miss Chip. How you doing? Yeah, I just couldn't get it for the life of me to work on Rumble. Rumble Studios would do Rumble, but it would not do YouTube. And so I had to terminate it, and I'm just doing YouTube. So hopefully I will try another stream a little bit later. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, to try to get this all figured out. Because I want to stream on both platforms since I have followers on both. If I can quit throwing stuff around, we'll get this going. So I've mentioned this before that my favorite theme of Lego is city. And if I had a favorite sub-theme within city, it would probably be trains. And Mrs. Chip is saying, now it's working. Good, helping Amanda sew a skirt from a long distance. I want to go to Joanne's now. Well, you have a little bit of money, so hopefully that'll help. I don't know what to say. Okay. Starting off these buildings is always a little bit of fun because when you start them off, for the first little bit, they look nothing like the actual building. You got to lay down the foundation just like a real building, and then as time goes on, you'll see it come to shape. I think there is the highest I see is 14 bags. I don't know how far we're going to get today. We may finish the whole thing. I don't know. I still need to work on the mountain thing. And part of the reason that I wanted to do a live stream today is that, as you guys know, Amazon Prime Days Okay, I'm back, and I really apologize for that. I am trying to work out a lot of different things with my setup. For some reason, I've lived here for 2.5 years, and I've had the same internet company the whole entire time. It's only been the last few streams that doing the wireless internet, the Wi-Fi, has created problems for me. So I guess that means that I really need to go and buy an Ethernet cable to go from my router to my laptop now and just hardwire it, because for some reason, like I said, 2.5 years of no problems, and then all of a sudden I'm having problems. And there's nothing that has changed on my end that I know of. So anyway, just to mind a little hiccup, we're back in business. And all right. So as I was saying earlier, hey Steve, how you doing? Yeah, Steve, I couldn't get the Rumble Studios. It said it connected to my YouTube, but then when I tried to do it, it said it failed. So uh, I'll figure it out one way or the other. But yes, city is my favorite theme, and if there's a sub theme inside of that, trains is my favorite sub theme. And yes, I'm going to credit that to my dad. My dad loves trains. I've always liked model trains, but I like Lego trains a whole lot more than I like model trains. And I know if he was here watching the stream, he would say that's sacrilegious, and it probably is, but that's okay. I'll go with it. And hello, KD, and again, hi, Steve. And let's see. So I've been up to quite a bit. Like I said, Prime Days, setting up a new studio. Oh, and by the way, what's different about this thing is that this cord that I bought, it allows me to have a second monitor. So now these sets do not come with instructions, but now I can have the instructions on one monitor and the other stuff. And yeah, it allows me to be able to see the chat at the same time that I'm doing this. And I'm sorry, I'm very, very distracted for some reason. I'm having trouble even speaking, but that's just me. And KD says, I was checking out your shop, and wow, you have a big collection of parts. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I do my best to keep that stocked up. And actually, sometimes I don't even have all the parts that I need. And I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do this. I have a Bricklinker, or a Bricklink store, that I'm only telling you this because I hope you guys avoid a headache. I ordered $40, a little over $40 in parts from them, and it ended up being a disaster. For $40 worth of parts, that was 14 ounces, not even a pound. They wanted to charge me $18.05 for the shipping. And if you do anything about shipping like I do, because I ship several packages every day, for less than a pound and going to a neighboring state, I'm in Idaho, they're in Nevada, that is usually the same zone or just one zone over, no way it should be $18.05. And I was nice about it, and I just let them know. I said, hey, here's the deal. I think you got this wrong. Can you please look into it? And I was expecting, hey, a mature response of somebody who just says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. Okay, I'll adjust it. No, what I got was a little bit of profanity. And what I got back from them was, you don't know what you're talking about. And I said, hey, look, I sell on Bricklink. I know what it should cost. And in fact, at some point I gave them a screenshot of the different options. And one of the options was like for $7, and I think it was 65 or 85 cents. I can't remember now. But it was like $7. 8 if you want to round up. And they were charging 18. So again, I showed them that. And when I showed them the screenshots in the email, crickets, nothing. And so I let about 24 hours pass. And then I got back a hold of them. I said, hey, look, if you can't adjust the shipping closer to what the actual cost is, I said, I'm not interested in buying this. And all heck broke loose. They started acting like a 4-year-old and got real nasty with me, canceled my order, and gave me a negative feedback stating that I was trying to strong arm them into lowering their costs. I'm not trying to strong arm anybody into anything. But their terms in their store says that they only charge what the post office charges. And because I was able to show them that they're charging over twice what the post office charges, that's what I was trying to do. I wasn't trying to strong arm anybody, but when you advertise that you don't profit off of shipping, basically, they didn't say those exact words, but when you say you only charge what the post office does, that's what you're saying. Then yeah, you need to hold your end of the bargain as far as I'm concerned. And because I was being professional about it and showing you screenshots and not calling you names, just asking you to be a little more reasonable, I don't think any of this was warranted. They canceled my order and they gave me negative feedback. The good thing about the way Bricklink works, though, is that you can receive negative feedback as a buyer, and it does not affect your percentage as a seller. So in other words, it still counts as a negative, but doesn't go towards your positive ratings as a seller and does not affect your selling. So I really don't care. I'm fine with that part. Hey, Greg, how's it going? This guy doesn't let me scam him. I'm going to give him a bad review. That's what he thought. Yeah, and that's basically how I felt about it too, man. I just thought it was really ridiculous. So, anyways, the store that you want to stay away from is called Dark Corner, and they are in Nevada. Those are the ones. And I don't normally like calling people out on stuff, but if you're going to be rude and nasty with me, I don't want you guys to experience the same thing. So there you have it. By the way, I ended up getting the pieces I needed. I went back on Bricklink last night, and what was really cool is I found a shop that if you spent over $50, the shipping was free. And you want to know the most ironic thing? They are also located in Las Vegas, Nevada. Different store, though. So I ended up getting my parts from the same place or in the same general area, and I got it for less. And to be honest with you, because it was free shipping, I actually went a little bit overboard, and I ended up spending $105 instead of $40 on the parts. And well, assuming they deliver on time or reasonably, and assuming that they do the right counts and that kind of stuff, I will be a return customer. And I mean, I don't mean this as a threat, but I don't think it's really smart to upset me when it comes to these kind of things. I make 2 or 3 Bricklink orders a week. I order quite a bit off Bricklink, so yeah, whatever. Just saying, don't be dishonest. All right, let's see what else we can do here. I'm really liking this train thing. I think the track goes up here. Like I said, I bought 2 of these, and I bought it for the purpose of modifying these, because this is the train shed itself right here. Over here is just an empty track. I don't like it. What I want to do is I want to have a double train shed, so I will. You're at the laundromat. Did your washer or dryer break down, Greg? If so, man, I'm sorry. I've dealt with that too, man. fact, when I bought this home right here, I was only in here less than a month. It was about, I want to say it was about 3 or 4 weeks, and my washer broke. I went to the store. Because I have a truck, I picked one up, put it in my truck, and I thought, oh man, this is going to be awesome. I've got a new washer. And I was very happy for 2 days. And then my dryer broke. So Greg, I'm going to say the struggle is real, my friend. The struggle is real. Okay, so they're saying that in here is supposed to be a piece that's a tiny bit shorter. Did I do this wrong? No, that was right. That's right. Yeah, so they're telling me there should be one 14. I think I found it. Yes, I did. All right. So yes, everybody, please avoid going to dark corner if you don't want to have. If you want to have a good experience, don't go there. And by the way, too, I will say the store. I've ordered from them before too. That's the other thing. I wasn't a first-time buyer from them, and so believe me, if they would have done this before in the past, I would have remembered it and put it down as one of my least favorite stores. However, they didn't do it the last time I ordered from them, so I didn't do that. And they don't have the request a quote feature. When you're buying off of Bricklink, if you don't know what the shipping costs are going to be, you're allowed to put down request a quote unless the store turns that off. And had they done that to me, had that request a quote active, I would have pressed it and done it ahead of time. I'll tell you a funny story. You guys might remember that about a year ago, or actually, no, it wasn't a year ago, it was January this year. I did the Vestas wind turbines in my city. And when I did that, when I did the Vestas wind turbines, there was a guy in Colorado that set his shipping, I think, for the East Coast. And it was going to be like, I don't remember exact numbers, so I'm just going to throw a number. Let's say it was like $25. So he wanted like $25 to ship one of these wind turbines. Well, I was buying 2 off of them, so it would have been like $50, let's say. Well, I didn't want to contact the guy ahead of time, and because a lot of times people don't respond. So what I did was I went ahead with the order up until the point that I was able to put request a quote instead of actually buying it from him. And it worked because the guy looked at it and he goes, "Oh, I'm in Colorado. You're in Idaho. You're not that far. I'll send it for $25." And I checked the shipping, and sure enough, he only charged me what the post office would have charged him. So I was very happy with that purchase because I was able to request a quote and get a little bit lower price because he looked into it manually. And that's what I wish this person would have done, so that it allows me to point, to be able to point it out to him. Hey, maybe you're charging a little too much. Can you please look into this? And he did, and I bought off him. I bought 2 of them, and lucky for him because they were $200-something a piece. So he ended up making a couple $100 off me. And John, how are you doing today? And John, I do have that second monitor, and I'm using it right now as we speak. I used Amazon Prime Days and bought me the proper cord that I needed to set everything up, and now I am in business, as they say. I tried doing the Rumble Studio thing, and it didn't work for me. So I will try it again at a later date. So, okay, my father-in-law, he used to be an attorney. Now he's a police officer. And so any sort of lawyer jokes, cop jokes, I throw them his way. And so what I did was I heard a joke, so I called him today to test it out, and he thought this joke was pretty funny. And the joke is, do you know what lawyers wear to work? Well, the answer is lawsuits. Hope he doesn't violate. He's actually a really good guy. I don't mean to insult him by saying this, but I am going to say how I feel. And that is, I don't know why he's a police officer, because most of the cops I dealt with have been, lack of a better term, a little bit on the asshole side. And this guy is not an asshole at all. This guy is one of the most generous people you'll ever meet in real life. And I've asked him how he does it. And he just says that he knows he's got a job to get done. And it's got to get done. So he's a different person on the job. You know, I really like these profile bricks, with a little bit of bricks, masonry brick put in there. And I love it that now we have it in brown, or to be more official, reddish brown. I do think it's kind of silly how Bricklink has all these, and Lego has all these names for their stuff. But you know what? I get it too, But anyways, the masonry brick is one of my favorite bricks. They add a lot of detail to your builds. And let's see, got to catch up. And then, I got the second longer. Yeah, I bought my bookcase with Amazon Prime. Rumble. So when you stream with Steve, it'll be easy. He has a passion for the job, so I mentioned that. Last night I started my F-22 Raptor again. He says, looked like they just wanted to open up. Okay. All right, well, we got this going. And I don't understand the instructions. Let me take a look. Oh, okay, now I get it. Okay. At least I think I do. Okay, yeah, I do. Oh, no, I'm reading the instructions. I'm not. Oh, no. I'm not talented at all. Not like that. I wished I was. Holy shoot. But no. I'm not. And I don't know if I mentioned this on a previous stream, but last Saturday, 1 week ago, it was my granddaughter's 6th birthday. And so I called her up. Had a lovely little conversation with her. She is definitely Mrs. Sass, let me tell you. And it looks like I am missing a piece. And I am checking everything down there, and it is not there. The good news is this is one of those pieces that are involved in building the Avengers Tower, which I have all over this room. So let me go ahead and grab that piece because I don't want to go any further without it. So I was starting to tell you about my phone conversation with my granddaughter. So I told her, I said, you know, Grandpa loves you. And my little granddaughter says, I know, Grandpa. You've told me that before. And, you know, it would be easy to get upset with her, but she is only 2 years old. And you got to kind of keep that in mind when you're talking to her. So let me slide that back. The sky looked like they just want to open up with buckets of water. Well, in Florida, John, I heard they do. My daughter, one of my daughters lived in Florida for a while. She cracked me up. She told me one time, do you know how you can tell if water in Florida, a body of water in Florida, has alligators in it? Well, how you know is if the water's wet. And yes, I realize that did not make any sense. It's not made to make sense. It's made to make fun of the fact that Florida has a lot of alligators and crocodiles. Oh, well, that was just me being silly. Okay, let's keep going. And hello, Mayo. How you doing? Said I caught up to your last 2 months of city updates. Got to say, it's fun seeing the underground scenes and humorous potty humor. Yes, I like my humor and my potty humor to go along with it. Yes. Sometimes I think Mrs. Chip's just going to get tired of my potty humor, but for some reason she still sticks around me, so I won't complain and I won't question it, because if I start questioning it, it might start a chain reaction where she starts questioning it, and before I know it, anyway, I'm just joking around. And John says, yes, we do in retention ponds. Yes. I've actually never been to Florida. I've been to many of the states, but Florida is not one of them. It is one that I'd like to visit for. I kick the bucket, or kick up all fours, as my dad says. And that's not that I want to get too sentimental, but I will say that real briefly that when I know my dad is going to pass away eventually. I mean, it's something you can't avoid. But when it does happen, that's really going to hit me hard, because my dad is such a character, and he is so fun to be around. That yeah, that's going to really hurt when he finally goes. Thank goodness he's not sick right now, and I don't think he's anywhere near it. I think he's got a few good years left to him. So hopefully that will be the case. Female bathrooms are 87 cents to a man's dollar. I know the feeling with Mom. Yeah. You don't want to think about it, but, you know, if I'm being honest, I do think about it sometimes. You know, you just do. And Katie says, I'm the eldest brother, and sometimes I forget and start talking about politics or some board topic. My eldest sister is always like, okay, but can I get an ice cream? If that's her sense of humor, I like that. But maybe she's just being 100% real with you too. I don't know, but I like that. That's funny right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just making sure that I am building this correctly. Hope I do another stream tonight. I wasn't planning on it, John, but I just might, because to be honest with you, I want to finish up that mountain fortress. And I wasn't really planning on doing this stream today. In fact, the cord that I bought, it said it was going to be here on Monday. And so I wasn't expecting it. And I go to the post office this morning, my little box in front of my house. And it was like, oh, it's here already. So it was a very pleasant surprise. And so I went ahead and moved everything up. I was going to spend the day out in the shop working on the electrical out there, but so, okay, where is that going? Oh, right there. John, Chip has a big backlog, so maybe. Yeah, I do have a big backlog. I really do. Who knows? The other thing I did too is because when I do live streams out in the shop, it's hard for me to hear, like when Greg's on there with me. I can't hear Greg very well because I'm just using my laptop speaker. Well, I'm happy to tell you that because of Prime Day, I picked up a really good, and I mean something that's normally like $60, a Bluetooth speaker. I picked one up for $40, and so that is only for my live streams. So, and yes, I have to thank everybody, because if you bought off of me on Bricklink, you helped pay for that Bluetooth speaker and for the $20 cord that I'm using to get this going. So, and I do like to thank you guys for doing stuff like that, because every single sale is, to me, a blessing. And so thank you. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I've got this nice Bluetooth speaker that I can use for live streams out there. And so you might see me, and actually the plan is you will see me do more live streams out in the shop doing the city, as well as my regular update videos. I just want to do some more stuff, different stuff, and it's all part of the plan. I let Rancor Steve. Okay, cool. He did hop on here for a minute. I'm building the Indiana Jones set for the next 3 weeks. Chip, you're auto invited every Friday because of your backlog. And I will try to fit it in. Yesterday, I could not. Yesterday, I actually had a really good time. I don't want to get into like everything that's going on, and that's because it's not really my story to tell. So let me sum it up this way. My son is going through a lot of issues right now, and as his father, I want to be supportive. And I thought about doing a stream last night, but then he came to me and he said, "Look, how about we hang out together?" All right, we can hang out, right? So what we did was I have some old wood laying around, and we created a bonfire in the front yard. For those who don't know, out here in the country, you're allowed to burn. And that's exactly what we did. We just put together things that needed to be burned, like cardboard boxes, even a ton of Lego instructions. And we just lined everything up, put a little gasoline on it, let it rip. And we had a bonfire out there. And during the bonfire, well, before the bonfire, my son went out and went to the little grocery market here, and he bought himself and me the ingredients for s'mores. Now, I like to camp, and oh, I don't see where that piece goes. Oh, here it goes. Because I like to camp, I have this like metal thing that it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's got like a wire cage, and you stick bread in it, and you put it over a campfire, and you toast bread with it because you just flip it around. Anyway, because Spencer wanted to do s'mores, that's what we broke out. We broke out the little twister little thing for toasting, and instead of toasting, that's what we did. And okay, there we go. So we had some nice s'mores that were done just right. And yes, it shows today right here. About 50% of this is s'mores. Just letting you know. And then after Spencer and I did the s'mores, we went to my favorite restaurant called Beto's. It's about 40 minutes away from here. And while we were there, I've got an ex-brother-in-law who I actually knew him before my sister married him. So there is some ties there prior to the marriage. Yeah, I'm kind of sad their marriage didn't work out, but that's old news. I texted him and I said, hey, are you still awake? Because we were like less than 5 minutes from his house. And so then we ended up going over to my ex-brother-in-law's house, and we just kind of hung out a little bit. And he likes to work on old cars and restore them and hot rod them out too. And so we got to see his latest projects, and his friend Jim was over there. So we hung out with Jim for a little bit. So yeah, I was spending some quality time with my son yesterday. But there is another Friday, and it's coming up. So we'll see if I'm able to. I'll hop on there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to give such a long explanation, but yeah, that's how that's going. Nice. I'll have you on the backyard. Okay, cool. Let's see. Do you sell whole sets or just parts? Both, John. With my latest acquisition of that guy who went out of business in Vegas, I picked up almost 300 sets, and a lot of them have sold already. In fact, I think I'm down to like 90. So I can't really complain, but that's the way it is. I've already made my money back. So everything I get from this point forward is just pure gravy profit. And for some reason, what did I do wrong? I see what I did wrong. Let me fix that. It's a good thing I caught it now. It's a lot easier now than down the road. And I did reboot my laptop before starting this, so it is moving a little bit faster than it was the last stream. The last stream, I was getting frustrated because I'm like, come on, next page. And it just didn't want to switch over. So glad that that's no longer an issue. I guess that's the key. I need to shut down after every stream and reboot this laptop. This laptop, well, you know, I thought it was pretty new, but then I thought about it. I've actually had it for almost 5 years now. It was an Acer Nitro 5, or is an Acer Nitro 5, which is a gaming laptop. And it used to be really good, but like anything like myself with age, we just don't age that well. And this laptop's not aging very well. So maybe that's what I need to do, save my pretty little pennies and get me another one. Who knows? Very cool of him. Let me catch up on comments here. Mayo says, seems like Chip is always streaming, so it all makes sense. I do try to stream more often, especially here lately. And John says it's very cool of him. Yeah, I really did enjoy the impromptu little, let's get together and do something. With both Mark, my ex-brother-in-law, and my son. It was fun with both of them. And my son, Spencer, he likes Mark and his friends because these guys are real car guys. I mean, they can take a car from beginning to end and an engine from beginning to end and just fix it all up. And my son's really interested in doing that. So I highly encourage that sort of interaction with somebody that has the skill to do. And not only that, these guys are getting older now, and so they wouldn't mind having a young back around to help him, to help them out. But at the same time, they're helping him out because he's learning the craft or the trade or whatever you want to call it. So it's all good there. Let me catch up on comments. I love s'mores, and Mayo says you never tried a s'more. Now, I ain't trying to talk down to you because I don't know what you know and what you don't know. So let me explain what a s'more is, and if I'm already telling you something you know, I apologize in advance. But it's not like I can just say, hey, this is what a s'mores is. Do you know what it is, or whatever? But here it goes. The s'more is basically a graham cracker with a semi-cooked or fully cooked, however you like it, marshmallow with a Hershey's chocolate thing on it, another marshmallow, and another graham cracker. So it's like a sandwich, a very sweet, full of sugar sandwich that is yummy and guaranteed to add a couple inches to your waistline. And as you know, here at a Chip Off the Old Block Toys, I am all about adding inches to my waistline. Okay. I don't see where that's going. Oh, now I see it. My two favorite flavors in the world are cinnamon and chocolate. John, those are two very good flavors, and they go towards the theme of adding to my waistline, so I can fully back and support that one. Let's see. The weeks just are just flying by. John, I admit, I agree with that. It seems like, and I was thinking about this when I was setting up this new 2 monitors and the new cord and all that stuff. When I was setting all that up, John, I actually had that thought in my mind. I thought to myself, Mrs. Chip was just here. And then I thought about it. I'm like, no, she wasn't just here. That was January. So, yeah, I mean, they do go by, and then here we are. We're right in the middle of summer, and it's getting it's very warm out. But then I think to myself, we're almost at the end of July. 6 weeks from now, it is no longer going to be warm at all. It's actually going to be on the cool side, and then once again, we'll be sitting here like, well, I can't wait until, this. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. Okay. It helps if I build it right. So yeah, the weeks do fly, and as they fly, things change. And I'm really liking this, guys. I love this. You know, you can just picture the engine coming in here, having a little bit of room underneath for the guys to work underneath it. You know, you see there's going to be a back door here. You can see the other railroad track right here, some sort of signal or something right here. Um, I love it. I mean, I'm digging this set, man. Oh, okay. They want me to flip this thing around. Before the skies open up with rain, I'm going to walk the dog. I'll be back in a little bit, take you with me on the walk. I appreciate that, John. You can take me with me wherever you want to go, John. And let's see. Mayo says, "Don't feel pressure. You've done Friday streams before. So only show up when you have time to grind." All right. Well, no, I appreciate the invite, and believe me, I will be there. I just don't know exactly when, but I will be there. John, I built some Kobe military sets, and I like those, John. Um, I like military in general because my dad being, you know, and then my wife being military. I just wished I had more time and money. Um, I am definitely to the point where I don't know if I could fit anything more in my life right now. Even if I tried, I'm gonna have to give up something so I can do more other things. One thing I gave up recently is I used to play this game on my phone, and I quit playing it. Number one, because the time draw. I was spending. I didn't think I was spending that much time on there, but my phone actually gives me a weekly report, and it tells me what I spend my time on and how much time. And when I got the report a little over a month ago, maybe a little more than that, I realized I was like, holy crap, I'm spending way too many hours a week on this game. And that's when I decided to quit playing it. And not only that, I was wasting money too, because they get you because they do these little things like, oh, well, you know, if you want to upgrade your whatever here, it's only $10. And you think, oh, $10 is nothing. But then you look at it over a month period and you spent $40. So you've done it one time a week. Then it's like, oh, crap, I really spent too much money on this. And of course, you know, with limited money, and that comes out of my Bricklink or my allowance money, then I can't spend that $40 on Lego. So I decided to give up that game, and it was a very stupid game, actually. I don't even know why I played it, to be honest. But you live and learn, man. I've seen people eating them, but didn't know they added Hershey bars to them. Yeah, that Hershey and marshmallow flavor. I mean, it's sweet, and it's very sweet. I mean, you know, it's like pre-diabetes stuff, but yeah. And Mayo says, my weeks are stagnant now. When I'm at university, they fly by. You know, I can only imagine, man. You know, I I graduated from college. It's been many, many years ago. But yeah, I graduated from college as well. And I think I was able to get an internship before I even got out of college, though. Yeah, I had the internship, I want to say for almost 2 months before I graduated. Mrs. Chip, I don't know if she remembers that or not. I worked for QED Group. And yeah, I had my internship started before that, but I think that if I wouldn't have had it start so soon afterwards, I think I probably would have felt like, okay, what do I do next? And it was that was actually kind of an odd situation when I started that job, because they were only hiring for an intern. And I actually had worked as an accounting technician before I got my degree. But then I went to 4 years of school in between. But when I went for the internship, they were like, oh, you already have experience? Oh, and it was government contracting experience? Oh, wonderful. You know what? We don't want to do an internship with you. And I'm like, really? They're like, nope, we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we just want to hire you as a staff accountant. And of course, I'm not going to argue with them. I'm going to be like, hey, well, why not? I mean, that's money. So I've got very lucky there. Something tells me I enjoy a chocolate marshmallow strawberry. You know, that actually does sound good. And I gotta admit, man, food's my weak spot. I mean, as if you couldn't tell, right? I'll be the first one to admit it. Food is my weakness. A lot of people say God is my witness. Me, I just say is food as my weakness. Okay, so we got this guy here. He's going right here. And something tells me we're going to be building a lot of little things, and yeah, we are. All right, well, let's just do it. Get it done, and we can move on to the next bag, and the next bag, and yet the next bag. Let's just do it. I need to take a shower for breakfast at Tiffany's. Not really at Tiffany's. Bye, guys. All right, see you, man. And Breakfast at Tiffany's is a good movie. It's a good song, and yeah. And one thing that's kind of getting in the way of my streams is this air conditioner next to me. It used to be very efficient, and here lately, it's not very efficient. I'm even with it on, it's not really cooling off this room that much anymore. And I'm not trying to complain. I'm just letting you know it's a little warmer in here than it usually is. Oh, cool. I actually like this a lot more now. Let's go here. All right, so there we go. So we have some sort of welding tanks right here next to the big old, I guess, fire extinguisher. I guess I don't know what that is. Let me see. Let's get this going. So many of you know that I live in a small town, and this is my first time living in a small town. And as such, I have a story I want to share with you. Um, so the last time I went to the grocery store, I saw my neighbor next door, the husband, the dad of the dad of the family. And when I saw him, we talked for a minute, and kind of caught up a little bit. He's a good guy. He's our. We have more than one town doctor, but he's a town doctor, and I saw him, so said hi to him and that. And then when I was in here today at the same grocery store, I said to myself and to the cashier, I said, this is my first time that I've lived in a small town. And she said, well, how do you like it? And I said, well, it's pretty cool living in a small town. And then she says, well, why do you say that? And I said, well, I usually run into somebody I know pretty much everywhere I go. And she goes, yeah, that's true. I've lived here for 20-something years, whatever. Yeah, yeah. And she's from Salt Lake. And it was funny, as we were saying this, I looked up, and there was the doctor's wife and their oldest daughter walking in the store. So, yeah. So last time I went there a couple of days ago, I saw the doctor himself. And then this time I saw his wife and his daughter. So kind of funny. And I do like them. They're good people. They're actually they're really good neighbors to have because they, like a lot of these small town folks, they kind of keep to themselves and they don't really bother you. But yet, if you need help, all you got to do is pick up the phone and call them. So I really like living in the small town for those reasons. Small town living is a thing. And I actually don't ever want to leave here. And in keeping with many of the things I've already done with this house, I do hope that over time there are the funds available to make things a little bit better in this house. One of those things I'd like to do is maybe a bigger air conditioner for the whole house, and maybe a different air conditioning unit, a separate one all by itself, a smaller one for up here. I would like to do that. Just looking for all the right pieces here as my legs stick to this chair. This chair is made out of fake pleather stuff, so sticking to you is about all it's good for. I like real leather. Okay, I'm back. She didn't have to go. Okay. What's the temperature like there, John? Right now it's cool because it's been overcast due to the threat of rain. 85, yeah, that's not too bad. Okay. But all last week, mid to upper 90s, yeah. We've been having a similar weather. Of course, I'm sure you had the humidity go with it, um, which in my opinion makes it way worse. But we've been 95 to 100, 105 for the last week. And today, you know what? I forgot what it's supposed to be. Let me take a look. Let's see. Man, I really despise when my phone just does whatever it wants. Okay, so today's supposed to be 95. Oh, Tuesday's supposed to be 98. Wednesday, 99. Ugh. Let's see what the 10-day forecast is. 100, 101. Oh, and then Friday, 91. That's going to feel nice to drop a little bit. I'm hot. I'm 66. If you don't mind, can you tell you what state or country you're located in, KD? You don't have to get like really specific. Like, I mean, like, oh, I live in Illinois or something. That's close enough as far as I'm concerned. But I'm just curious where you're at, man. Guatemala. Oh wow. So you are okay. Yeah, I know where Guatemala's at. Right next to Mexico. That's cool. I've never been. Been to Mexico. Been to Mexico a few times. Just basically across the border in Tijuana from San Diego. And that's about as far as I ventured in. Oh, that's right. John says I've been to Central America, Costa Rica for my ex's anniversary. Yeah, I should remember that, John. When are you talking about that? That's pretty cool. Okay, so we got a drill press going on, and then we're going to build another little piece of machinery. I'm not really sure what. Okay. Well, I didn't realize we were going for a little bit over an hour. I kind of feel it because, well, yeah, tired, but I didn't sleep too well last night, guys. I think I've told you guys I sleep with a CPAP mask, and most nights I have no problems with it whatsoever. Last night was not one of those nights. Last night was one of those nights that, after only wearing the mask for about an hour, my body just couldn't tolerate having a mask on me anymore. So I ended up throwing it off, and then of course when I did that, I don't sleep very well at all. Um, so yeah, a bit of a rough night. Well, that's so cool. This is supposed to be a vice grip. I love it. Yeah, Costa Rica is beautiful. Yeah, but we didn't like the resort. Take a nap, come back later. Yeah, I've learned after you put the dog bed on top of the my bed, Rue sleeps in that and leaves me alone. Where's Enzo? He's over here. I had to take a double take because he wasn't in his usual spot. Yeah, he's over here. In fact, give me a minute and I'll let me finish this little piece of equipment I just started, and then I'll call him over and see if we can't get him to be cute for us. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I got Enzo to howl on cue at the end of my videos now, so that'll be the end part of my video, that my videos are Enzo approved. Guatemala does have this beautiful and fresh landscapes, and 30 kilometers ahead, you have the most luxurious building and houses. That's cool, man. That is on my bucket list too, is to make it down there before I pass. Um, we, because of Mrs. Chip's military career, we did spend 3 years in Europe. We lived in Germany, and that was a lot of fun. We got to visit France, Luxembourg, Austria. We made it around Europe, and it's very odd because here in the States, we have many different states, and you have to go a long way in order to make it to another country. But in Europe, and sure South America as well, it's really odd because you don't have to go very far, about the size of a state, and you're in a totally different country. And in Europe, there's even different languages among these countries, and so it's kind of an eye-opening experience. Um, and they have their own customs, their own food. They've got a lot of different stuff. And I know in South America, they all might share. Well, they don't completely share a language. There are places that have different languages or different dialects or whatever, but the food's different though. Um, my father-in-law, he spent a couple of years living in Paraguay, and he was telling us about the food and how it's different, and how the culture's different too. Um, so anyway, by no means am I an expert in any of what I'm talking about. I just know the tidbits that I've heard. And to be quite honest with you, if my father-in-law would get on here, I would love to have him on here. He's a good guy. Oh, that did not quite work the way that it should have. And I think it's because of what I did. So let me fix that. So here, let me just do this. Yeah, there we go. My ex was from London. She teaches me most English. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, it's always nice to have someone like that, man. Yeah, my father-in-law, he learned Spanish when he lived in Paraguay, and in fact, it helps him now because he's a police officer, and whenever something like goes down, they'll call him up on the radio, and if they need a Spanish interpreter, he gets paid overtime. And there was a thing today where um, there was a guy who committed two very serious crimes, and he had to be an interpreter for them. Now, I am not making a rude, insensitive comment saying that just because the guy, and actually, I'm not even going to say that. I hate when people try speaking for me and putting words in my mouth, so I ain't going to let them. This guy just happened to be a jerk. And my father-in-law got a little bit of overtime today by. Oh wait, that does go like that. Okay, never mind. Here I am trying to force it, but it's not supposed to go. Okay, so here we go. Here's this, and this is a huge lathe. Okay, so we got a lot of leftover pieces from this last step. They gave us a whole entire tool thing, and we only used a screwdriver. Maybe we'll use it later. I think what I'm going to do, I'm debating whether this is going to be the last bag for today, or for this stream, and maybe I will try and focus on how to get it going on Rumble and here at the same time, and then I'll return later today and get some more of this done. And hello, Suzanne, how you doing? It's good to see you. And Rancor Steve, hello, John, awesome. And for those who are just joining, this is one of those Bricklink Designer sets that they made about 30,000 of, and I was lucky enough to pick up 2 of them. And the first build, or the first round, is strictly by the book. So this is the old train shed, is what it's called, and it only has one bay for an engine. I bought a second one so that here where the track's going to be, I'm actually going to knock out this wall, push it over, and it's going to be a double train shed when I'm done. But for right now, it's going to be built by the book and nothing more, nothing less. Okay. Oh, there it is. I couldn't see where it goes. So this is officially Lego set 910033. Okay, something is off about this. Oh, no, it's not. It's my eyes that are off. Yeah, I did something similar with the train shed that came out. Oh, I don't know, maybe 12, 15 years ago. And I did the same thing. Well, it already came with a double, but I made it longer this way. And that was because when they originally built it, it was for 9-volt trains, and the 9-volt train engines would fit in there, but the newer ones wouldn't. So I expanded it. And this one here, to be quite honest with you, I don't even think a regular train engine will fit in here. I think it's a little too short. And if that's the case, you might see me, because I've got a lot of these pieces, these colors. I might even have to go a little bit this way too. And hello, Howard. How you doing? It's good to see you. I don't think I've seen Howard before. Welcome. But yeah, for the first round, I usually build things exactly how the box tells me to, and then from there I usually modify it. So in this case, the modification is going to be so heavy that I'm probably just going to have to wreck it, because I mean, you think about it, this whole thing has got to go. So, oh shoot, I didn't do that right, did? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did that right. Okay, I'm having the fun of looking for. Oh, there it is. This piece. All right. Yeah, I think right after this stream, I'm going to try to figure out why I couldn't get Rumble Studios to connect to my YouTube, because it just wouldn't. And then when I stream later tonight, I'll go ahead and have that all hooked up, and so we can do both Rumble and this. And I see a bunch of windows, so I imagine we're going to fill in this stuff here. And hello, John. Suzanne is here from Rancor Steve's channel, and I appreciate that. Suzanne, I do remember seeing you over there when I've been part of the audience. And I've also been on a couple streams with Steve, not many, but a couple. And I really, I'll be honest, there's not a lot of YouTubers that I support. And it's not because I don't want to support them. It's because I have to know someone before I back them, or I speak in their favor. And I've spoken with Steve enough that I feel like I have a pretty good sense of who he is, and I have got a lot of respect for Steve. I think that Steve's a good family man, um, and I'm grateful to see that he's the kind of person that loves. He has a wife and he loves her, and he talks about her in a positive light on his channel. I just like seeing that kind of stuff, because there's not a lot of relationships these days that it seems to be like relationships are almost disposable. And so to see someone who is making an effort to make his relationship work. I really admire that and I respect that. And not that I'm trying to make it about me, um, but I will say that I respect that because that's exactly what me and Mrs. Chip have done. We've been married 27 years. It'll be 28 in December. And I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt and tell you that we've had a great relationship. We have had a good relationship, and we've had many good years. But I'll admit too, we've also had a lot of bad years too, in between. It's not all sunshine and roses. It is what it is, man. It's just not always fun. But that's part of that commitment that you make when you get married, in my opinion. So, and I don't mean to preach at you guys. I apologize. I can literally I can go on all day. Okay. I'm like just trying to make this little thing work, and it's it's a little more challenging than I thought, and it's probably just me, not the build. And I got to say too, Steve's a generous guy. I had a few things I wanted to, you know, shoot his way and talk about YouTube and Rumble and all that stuff. And Steve was nice enough to take a phone call from me today, and we probably talked a little bit less than an hour, um, but right about an hour. And we were shooting ideas back and forth about how to grow each other's channels and what we could do to help each other. And so I hope that him and I can make good on the stuff we talked about and do some collaborations and that kind of thing. And that's actually been a challenge too, is that I've offered other YouTubers, hey, let's do something together. And a lot of them just aren't interested. So to find someone who is interested is awesome. Okay, so now we're making it look like a building, in my opinion, because we are taking this. And look at that. We've got a whole entire window right here. Hey, Cajun Yeti, what's up? And Cajun Yeti is actually another YouTuber that I know well enough that I can say I endorse him. Cajun's got his own channel, and I like Cajun for his sense of humor. And also, for the same reason I like Steve, I like Cajun. That is, he's a family man, and he's been married for a while. Got a couple kids. And also, the best part, I'm just kidding, it's not the best part, but I have respect for it because my wife's a veteran, he's a veteran as well, and so is my dad. My dad's a veteran, so I like his channel too. Please check it out. And yeah, John, I like that idea. Yeah, please share a link, man. Let people know where you're at, where they can find you. And Cajun said we've been the same woman since 2006. Been married. That's awesome, dude. So that's like you guys have been married 14 years, but together for 18. Yeah, Me and Mrs. Chip have, well, I admit, we probably got married a little bit too fast because we were only together for about a year before we got married. Um, but I don't regret it, and I wouldn't, you know, it's fine. It's worked out. Not only that, I wouldn't have the four wonderful children I have without my relationship with Miss Chip. Um, and I do have some really good kids. I'm my kids did not cause much trouble at all. Um, Growing up, they really didn't, and so I've got a lot of respect for them. I was not down at the principal's office. Um, I will tell you one funny. Uh, I will tell you a funny story about being called by a teacher. Oh, this has been years ago, man. I think Spencer was still in grade school. I think he was in sixth grade. I got a phone call from his teacher, and she says, "Mr. Carter, I'm calling you because you just won't believe what your son did today." And I was like, "Oh, what?" And she was like, she paused, and I was starting to get scared because that dead silence. I was like, "Oh gosh, my son must have really done something bad." And she goes, "He was just so disrespectful." And I was like, "Okay, what did he do?" And she didn't answer, so I'm like, "Okay, did he yell at you? Did he talk back? Did he swear at you? Call you names?" And she's like, "No, no, no." And I'm like, "Okay, so then what did he do?" And she goes, "Well, he farted in my class." And I was like, "What? You're calling me at work to disrupt me because my son passed gas in school? Are we serious right now? Because I don't want to hear this. This is stupid." And she got so mad at me because I wouldn't take her serious. And in fact, I was so upset with her for calling me at work because I had a job. I worked at a hospital. I can't I can't be taking calls unless it's an emergency. So I was really upset with her for calling me. So I called up the assistant principal the next day and I complained. The assistant principal started laughing when I told him why she called. And then he apologized. He goes, "You're right. She shouldn't have called you. That is not something you call about." And I admit I was a troll because when she said, well, when she told me about the fact that he was farting in her class, um, I was thinking, well, I mean, maybe the kid just had bad gas. I mean, who hasn't had a day where you can't hold them all in? Not that I really want to talk about that, but you know what I'm saying. We've all had our days. And so I kind of trolled her and I said, well, I guess he's just a regular guy. And at one point in the conversation, she says, "Do you know why I'm calling you?" And I said, "To see if I have a sense of humor," because I really didn't know how to take this, and I really didn't appreciate her calling me. It was so stupid. And I remember when I got home that day, I told Spencer, I said, "Man, I got a call from your teacher today," and he kind of froze, and he's like, "Am I in trouble?" And I'm like, "No, I don't care, dude." Okay, so this is bags 1 through 5 right here. Um, John saw that show. It was amazing. Okay, that's overreach on her part. It was. How far in class one time and I got suspended? Really? Cow, dude, that is weird. Susanna, that's so funny. I had a teacher tell me that my boy can't speak proper English because he said, "Excuse me, I passed gas." Apparently, should have said I farted. Maybe I shouldn't have screamed out. Let it rip. I talked to my son about it, and he said he wasn't obnoxious. He farted, and he didn't say anything because he was trying to see, like if it'd clear out. And the teacher wouldn't let it go. When she smelled it, she's like, "Who did it? Who did it? Who did it?" And Spencer was like, I did it, excuse me, I'm sorry, And she made him go to the door of the classroom. And that's where my son kind of did something he shouldn't have. He opened the door and started fanning the room because she didn't tell him to do that. She just told him to stand by the door. And I think that upset her, but still, I still thought the whole thing was just ridiculous. And John says, "Yeah, from Coney Island." Yeah, John's from the New Jersey area originally, I think. Of course, when I first met John, he was living in New Jersey. So, all right, guys. Well, this is bags 1 through 5, and I like how the shape of it. I mean, you look at it. That's a really cool lathe. That's a really cool vice grip. You got a drill press. You got a little storage drawer here. I don't know what this is. You got some hats, tools. I like the welding thing. I like this big old fire extinguisher. And of course, you got to keep it clean with a broom and a mop. So I'm going to fool around with this. No, I took them for chili. No, I'm just kidding, Suzanne. I don't remember what I did. My son's 20 now. So this has been, probably 10 years ago. Anyway, I think my son and I have, we've had our good laughs about it. And in fact, I posted it on my Facebook page all those years ago, and it's still there. I never took it down. So anyway, this is set 910033. And what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to work on the live stream, try to get to work on Rumble and here. And when I do, I'll come back. I am going to take a break, probably about an hour, maybe 2 hours before I come back. But I appreciate you guys being here. And I really like this new setup. Having the 2 monitors is way better. The conversation's better. I can see your comments in real time. And I can also see the instructions in real time. So that really works out. All right, guys, be good to each other and stay safe out there. Please hit the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one.